Welcome. I'm Michelle, and I started my career in fitness 20 years ago, teaching groups and individuals karate, movement, stretching, kinesthetics. I spent time in and out of working at the gym ever since. And in this workshop, I'm going to give you everything you need to know to lose that extra 15 pounds and keep it off for good. I'm going to do this for a couple of reasons. Number one, I love empowering people. Seeing the results gives me even more of a thrill than seeing my own. Also, like probably all of you, I've been on the ups and downs of dieting. I have been so sore from the gym I couldn't move, and I have faced wishing I was strong enough to keep up with a friend on a hike or to help unload a car. Anyway, I get it. And I found a sustainable way to balance all of this out without rigid diets or workouts that make you cry going up the stairs. All right, I have to say it before we start any new health, wellness, or fitness program. Get your doctor on board. At least send them a message and let them know that you're starting something new. Empower does not give medical advice or replace the advice of a qualified healthcare professional. I am certified through the National Academy on Sports Medicine as a personal trainer and nutritionist, but I am but a humble educator. They got far more education than I did, so please partner with your healthcare providers on your health. Check your health plan for benefits like dietitians and gym memberships. They usually won't advertise that they have these benefits, but if you ask, sometimes they have them there. So check that out. I highly recommend that. And I need to tell you that I have a different philosophy than many trainers. I'm here to empower you, not control you. I will not act like a drill sergeant, bark orders, or make you feel guilty when life gets in your way. I will never hand you a rigid rule, extreme diet, or workout designed to leave you hurting and dreading the next one. You are not here to become dependent on me. You are here to become more confident, capable, and informed. This does not mean that you have to do it alone, though. Some of my clients want frequent coaching accountability, and they thrive with that support, and I love it. Others prefer more independence and simply want guidance when they need it. I also love that. Both approaches are valid. I have talked to trainers who say they intentionally keep clients feeling slightly insecure so that they will continue to pay for support. I can't stand that. That's not how I work. Instead of trying to make people believe that they cannot succeed without me and my guidance, my goal is to provide the knowledge, structure, and support and confidence to succeed with as much or as little help as you need. With Empowered Fit for Life, you are the captain of your own ship. You're the one in charge. This program fits you and your life instead of trying to fit you and your life into my program. You choose the actions that you take, and you're the one that receives payoffs from those actions, whichever way they go. So no coach, trainer, partner, or community can do that work for you. It's up to you. But the right support can make the path clearer, easier, and far less lonely. This workshop tonight will help you through the key steps that can help you lose that extra 15 pounds in 90 days, build healthier habits, and create results that you're better equipped to maintain. Because ultimately, this is up to you, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I lost control, and I found myself in the middle of the longest slow motion fall of my life. I was about 10 feet behind my newlywed husband on our honeymoon, an hour into a hot, muddy hike through Puerto Rican jungle, trying to keep my balance going down a steep hill. I had slipped a few times, but I was doing all right as long as I moved slowly and carefully. You can see in that middle picture, I was moving very carefully. I was wearing a white overshirt because apparently I had made a questionable life choice that morning. And I was long past trying to keep the mud off my sandaled feet and out from between my toes. At that point, my only goal was to stay upright. As a naturally clumsy person, I was doing okay. The mud had only reached up to my knees in places, and then it happened. The big slip. I became a cartoon character, slipping, almost catching myself, slipping again, and somehow gaining speed as I came down that mountain. I could see exactly where I was headed. I was going to crash into my husband and take him down with me. And because I'm a singer, I was hooting and hollering through the entire slow motion disaster. My husband glanced back, saw me coming, threw out his arm, and caught me. Miraculously, neither of us fell. We finished the hike upright, although both of us were muddy up to the waist by the end of it. That hike reminds me a lot of trying to improve our health. We are already moving through life on slippery ground. We are surrounded by heavily processed foods, powerful marketing, oversized portions, convenience, conflicting advice, and temptations everywhere we turn. Then life piles on stress, demanding schedules, health problems, family responsibilities, travel, celebrations, and just plain exhaustion. Of course, we are going to slip. Most of us have been on this wellness journey before. Sometimes we caught ourselves and kept moving. Other times we decided, screw it, I'm already muddy, and just sit down in the mud, slide the rest of the way down. I built Empowered Fit for Life to help women keep going when the ground gets slippery. You do not have to be perfect, and you do not have to hide when you struggle, and you do not need to start over every time life knocks you off balance. What we need is support, encouragement, practical tools, and people who will reach out a hand when you begin to slide. That is what Empowered is here to do. We catch one another, we walk together, and nobody looks down on you for getting muddy because we've all been there. I know if you've lived this long, you've probably seen your wellness practice slip. Do any of these resonate with you? How to focus when you have so much going on already? Where to start? Knowing that we need to eat better and move more, but feeling like you're already doing these and still slipping. You may not know how to set your workout schedule or even what will make a difference for you. There's information overload and it all becomes noise. We have all started and stopped and started over again. We start strong and then we slip and then we decide that maybe sitting in the proverbial mud is better than trying to walk it. If you're anything like me, you don't know how to just be happy in your own skin. I have trained myself all of my life to look for my own faults. I spent my life chasing not good enough. But now I've come to the point where I've developed the tools to celebrate every single win I can find. In just 90 minutes together, you'll learn everything you need to know to lose that extra 15 pounds and finally keep it off. We're going to follow a roadmap that starts with a commitment of time you're willing to stick to a plan. We're going to become aware of your habits, plan for your pitfalls, and then make small sustainable changes. We're going to go over the 4 pillars of health, which is sleep, hydration, nutrition, and physical activity. And we're going to talk about how to utilize them to improve your wellness balance right away. Please get a pen and paper and be ready to write down your takeaways. I'm hoping that you'll share your biggest takeaway at the end. Successful women report that the barriers to their results have been consistency, time, and motivation. And that was definitely me too. I had a woman recently ask if I had always been disciplined. No, I'm still not. I just have safeguards in place and a solid plan to keep going even when I slip. I'm going to share the steps I know will help you change your lifestyle and or lose that extra 15 pounds and keep it off. While this online program is a new platform for my work, I have helped lots of people build confidence, get stronger, create sustainable habits, and lose weight. At the end of this workshop, I'm going to invite you to join the community I'm building and offer you a spot in our membership to get the support and coaching and community to keep you on your feet and encourage you to keep going even when it gets slippery. The cost is 1/10 of what you would pay for a typical online coach and less than a weekly fast food sandwich. More on that later. You are in the right place if you're any one of these. Maybe you're just getting started. Maybe you haven't tried to control your body composition through diet and exercise before. Maybe you've been successful in the past with your fitness routine, but you fell out of practice and need to restart and maybe do something different this time. Perhaps you're working out already and you have an exercise routine, but you're in a plateau or you want to change it up. Or maybe you want support and accountability to add consistency to what you're already doing. Or it could be something else. Go ahead and put it in the chat. Try this new diet. Eat this for that. Don't eat carbs. Carbs are okay. Exercise this way. Try this one thing to strengthen your legs or whatever. This new workout will give you abs. Go as heavy as you can for 1 to 5 reps until you fail. Or do 5 sets of 20 reps. There are so many snippets of influencers online giving random advice. By the way, your goals determine how you should work out. For example, that heavy lifting is to build strength, and maybe the many reps is to add endurance, but it all depends on your goals. Either way, influencers, while they are often trying to make the world a healthier place through their work, they are working for views and followers. And their perfect bodies online are part of a cycle. They cycle in and out of that perfectness because it's not sustainable to be super skinny or have all of your muscles showing with no fat on top. So you might have gotten into looking at online influencers and trying to take advice, but it's very confusing out there. Another hot strategy is having AI create workouts and diet plans for you. It does this based on the algorithm, but it can also lead you astray, causing overuse, injuries, and unbalanced workouts, and it doesn't provide connection or follow-up with you. I have used it to try program workouts, and it spit out stuff to try, but it makes mistakes, and in my experiment, it wasn't consistent at all. Plus, it didn't follow up. AI is a very important tool in this day and age, but it does not replace a program like this, especially the coaching calls and community, which are the glue that keeps our participants going. I'm a huge fan of workout apps, particularly Heavy HEVY and Chronometer. Again, these are great tools to use as components of a wellness practice. But if you're anything like me, you have joined these, faded out, joined them again, over and over and over. Personal training is another strategy to get more healthy. As a trainer myself, I recommend this one. But the majority of my in-person clients from the gym just want me to take them through their workouts. I pepper them with empowered type advice. For example, talking about how's your sleep going? How hydrated are you? Are you carrying a water bottle? How's your nutrition? But most often, the people that come to me in the gym are there for their workouts. That's what they want. So FYI, we have clients that stick with their personal trainer and still enjoy being part of Empowered Leveled Up. Personal trainers are mostly focused on a workout program at the gym. Some of them will give nutrition and accountability as well. Most people are going to pay an average between $50 and $90 per session for 1 to 3 sessions per week. Do that if you can, and you may still find our 90-day journal, weekly calls, and curriculum helpful. Speaking of which, I will tell you about that 90-day journal when we get into the Powered program. So hang out. This is probably my newest and most exciting material right here. If anyone ever said that GLP-1s or peptides is cheating, they have not tried it. I haven't tried them either, but I have done my research, and I can say it takes commitment to be on these things, and it can be life-saving. These are effective ways to lose weight under the supervision of a qualified medical healthcare provider, but it needs to be controlled, and it needs to be started with eyes open to the side effects. You could lose muscle along with fat, and the food noise, if and when you come off of that $300-ish per month prescription, can be super intense. The food noise is crazy when you come off. And the feeling of the defeat is huge if you gain it all back, which many do, if they don't reset their lifestyle. Some participants in this program are using GLP-1 medication, and it is amazing for them. But there is still a need to build those strong habits around lifestyle along with it, and Empowered does help them to do that. I was shopping in the women's clothing aisle with my daughters when my youngest walked over to me wanting me to try on a size medium top. I looked down at the strained buttons on my favorite extra large shirt and told her there's no way I'm trying that on. At the time, I was a single mom, full-time student, and working a stressful full-time job. I had gained more weight than I ever imagined I would, although many of the women in my mom's generation had struggled with their weight too. I glanced toward the plus size section of the store and immediately decided I just could not go there. Instead, I went on a dieting spree. I tried one called MetaFast. It's an extreme diet built around expensive packets of powdered essence of food. It's like powdered stuff that you put in a coffee cup. And that lasted about 3 weeks. It was miserable. And honestly, it was too expensive anyway. So I tried other diets: keto, South Beach, Mediterranean, fat to muscle, low carb, high fat. And I lost little bits and gained more every time I tried one of these. I walked during my lunch breaks when I could, but work was busy and very demanding. I joined a gym, but I felt intimidated and unsure of what to do, and a couple times ended up injured on the floor with the weights. So I mostly just walked the treadmill, and even that was sporadic. I once practiced karate. I got a black belt in karate, and I was strong as I ever was back then, but I was not strong anymore. This became my constant background noise, trying to get fit, or more accurately, trying not to gain any more weight. At the same time, my social life revolved around meeting friends for appetizers and drinks. I was doing my best to manage work, school, motherhood, friendships, and my health, but I had no real structure or support. Finding balance felt nearly impossible. Fast forward to 2016. I was staring down my 40th birthday, and I was excited to leave my corporate job and return to my training roots and start a business teaching personal safety and self-defense classes. I also hired a personal trainer to help me lose weight and get back into shape. And it worked to a point. I got back down to a size 12-14, and it felt good to hear compliments and reach my 40th birthday in a smaller size. But behind that progress was the reality I wasn't talking about. I couldn't afford the training. I was putting that on credit cards. And I was hungry and sore and somewhat grouchy most of the time. Even after losing weight, I still felt heavier than I wanted to be. It wasn't good enough. And I continued chasing that number I had fixed in my mind, 160 pounds. I made it down to 174 before I could no longer afford the trainer or stand the pain of the extreme workouts. Once again, I had made progress, but the way I was doing it was not sustainable. I stayed somewhat fit until the pandemic hit. I closed my business and returned to the corporate world as a manager, where the stress was high and my job required me to sit at a desk for 8 to 10 hours a day. I thought I was eating healthy. I snacked on Nutri-Grain bars, nuts, lots of cheese, ate sushi, which was my favorite fast food, which I considered all healthy choices. I still went out regularly, and I was definitely drinking more often than I should have been. Deep down, I knew I wasn't healthy, and I also had a concerning bump on my stomach that I could no longer ignore. My jaw dropped as I sat in a new doctor's office and heard her tell me it was a benign tumor and that I should simply just leave it alone. When I asked what might have caused it, she told me that tumors and weight gains were just part of getting older. And that answer did not sit right with me. I found a new primary care doctor and I made a decision. I was going to take charge of my health. I began reading every health article and book I could get my hands on. I stopped drinking alcohol. I started tracking my calories and activity. I returned to the gym with purpose, a plan, and a consistent schedule. The more I learned, the more I wanted to help others avoid the same confusion and frustration I had experienced. I earned my nutrition certification and became an NASM, National Academy of Sports Medicine, certified personal trainer, and I started training people one-on-one in the gym. For the first time, I wasn't just trying another diet or chasing a number on a scale. I was learning how health could be built by making small, sustainable changes. Training people one-on-one is super fun for me, and I still have in-person clients. Many of them just want to work out with me, and that's great. But my time is limited, and I know that I can empower many more people through online means. When I left my first corporate career to strike out on my own, I spent a lot of time doing personal development work and thinking about what I really want my life to stand for. I eventually distilled it down to one goal in 3 words: to empower people. That's why I named my company Empowered. Through my personal safety and self-defense work, I got to empower thousands of people. I loved teaching, training, and helping people discover that they were stronger, more capable than they ever realized. What I didn't love was the rest of the work: the selling, the chasing invoices, and constantly searching for the next client. With this new iteration of Empowered, I'm creating a true win-win-win. I get a win because I get to spend my time doing the things I love: teaching, training, coaching, and helping as many people get off the exhausting cycle of starting over. My clients win because they receive the structure, education, accountability, and support they need to create real results through a doable program that fits into their lives. And Empowered wins because the membership model allows this program to remain affordable and sustainable while helping more women than I could have ever reached through one-on-one training alone. The program costs roughly 1/10 of what someone might pay for a personal trainer, a fraction of the cost of many weight loss medicines, and about the same as buying one fast food sandwich each week. So this is about empowering women with the tools to understand their bodies, build realistic habits, become stronger, and finally stop going around and round on the same frustrating cycle of starting over. A few months ago, the women I surveyed reported that they needed a progressive plan, motivation and encouragement, accountability and check-ins, and they reported that the community of women working toward the same goal would be helpful because we all know it's better together. What's different this time? You're not going to follow any rigid plan. To lose weight, get stronger and more flexible, or improve health in other ways, we build a program around our lives instead of trying to fit our lives into rigid workout schedules or diet plans. And we make a plan for when life gets crazy. It's going to. We're going to put safeguards in place and commit to showing up for ourselves over and over. And we utilize the tools in the program to do it with support. Here are some stats from my most recent 5-week survey. 1 week for baselines, and then we took 4 weeks for forward motion. This is what my respondents reported after those 5 weeks. What if you kept going? Would you be proud of yourself? 100% of my clients improve their well-being within 4 weeks with Empowered. 100% of my clients have slips and dips during that time. And those who keep going always have improvements within that 4 weeks. This leads to my number 1 tip. Don't give up. If you slide, or if you fall all the way down the mountain, you get back up with grace, with allowances, but you get back up in any capacity that you can. And we do what we can do. We always do what we can in this program and go from there, no matter what setbacks we face. Let's get to the other steps that we need to lose that 15 pounds or more and keep it off. I was suddenly not hungry. I felt a lump growing in my gut. This was bad. We were sitting at our favorite all-you-can-eat restaurant during a family dinner when my widowed brother asked me to take care of his son if he died. He planned to name me in his will as guardian of my nephew and the person responsible for managing everything he left behind. This wasn't hypothetical. My brother was preparing to die. He needed a heart transplant, but he was too heavy to qualify. For years, I had offered suggestions about nutrition, exercise, sleep, and hydration, but this conversation was different. This was a cry for help. I sat down with him and reviewed his health insurance, and we discovered that it would cover a dietitian as long as he was willing to participate. And he was willing. Since then, my brother has lost 200 pounds. I was hesitant to share his story as part of this program because the work and the accomplishments are all his. He did all of this. But he insisted that the tools, encouragement, and accountability that I gave him helped him move forward. He began using intermittent fasting and gradually building habits that worked for his life. And the process was not perfect. There were challenges, slips, adjustments, plenty of ups and downs. But instead of giving up and starting over every time life became difficult, he kept learning and adapting. For the past year, we have worked out together virtually and held each other accountable to getting to the gym 3 times a week. He's my best accountability buddy, and if you see my goofy water bottle pictures with the muscular banana on it, that sticker came from him. I don't want to control what other people do. He doesn't always follow my advice, and that's okay. Today, Adam continues to adjust his routine and his life as it changes. He has maintained his progress, rebuilt his health, and he no longer needs a heart transplant. His story is a powerful reminder that lasting change does not require perfection. It requires support, realistic tools, personal ownership, and the willingness to keep going. You cannot fail if you don't quit. So real quick, I wanted to reiterate that this is your journey. You decide what's best for you. Please get a pen and paper or a note app, get it ready. I would love for you to look for one or more takeaways that you find in today's presentation. I created this program to empower people, and I want you to come away with at least one actionable step that you can commit to today. Let's go. The first step on our roadmap is commitment. Don't run for the hills. This is commitment to yourself. So step 1, commit to 5 weeks. 1 week to track and 4 to make changes. You will see results. 100% of my participants saw positive results within this time, despite setbacks and issues that knocked them off track. 5 weeks is a great short-term goal, but 90 days or 12 weeks is the magic number in fitness. 90 days is where habits become second nature and results start showing up in big ways, just from small incremental changes as you go. And once you get into a groove, you start working toward your long-term vision, what you want to feel, do, or see in yourself in 1 year. I created a 90-day step-by-step journal that will take you through each day, each week, each weigh-in, peppered with tips, affirmations, and quick topics like sleep, hydration, nutrition, physical activity, and stress. You can get that journal in a bit if you want that outside of joining the program, but it'll be included in your program today for those who joined today. All right, are you ready for this? Look at your calendar and choose a start date. Today's a great day to start, or choose a specific day in the future. But set that date. I like Sundays and Mondays because it's the start of the week, but whenever you're going to start, set the date and then decide how long you're going to commit. Put that into the chat real quick. I'm going to ask you to just give this at least 5 weeks. 1 week to track your current habits and 4 weeks to make small changes. Better is 90 days because of that magic number there, and then best is 1 year broken into 4 90-day cycles. So mark your calendar with these dates. 12 months, if that feels like pie in the sky, it's only because you haven't truly committed to it yet. Goal setting will help you with this commitment. Once we have dates, we want to fill them in with a goal. This goal needs to be specific. I'll give you the first one and a preview of the next stop on our roadmap. Your start date begins tracking your current habits. There's no changes needed, just awareness for 1 week. More on that later. So what do you want in 90 days? 3 months from now, 12 weeks from now? Write it down. Do you want your clothes to fit differently? Lose that 15 pounds of fat? Walk up a hill without being winded? Able to do push-ups? That was mine. What is your goal? And what's realistic for 90 days or 12 weeks? You'll eventually fill in the next 3 90-day goals, but for now, let's look at the vision for next year. You're proud of yourself. You're in better shape. You have more balance in your life. You're stronger. You have some great habits, but you're not perfect. And you smile as you remember that no one is, and you're successful without that perfection. You have seen setbacks in the last year, but you always get back up as quickly as you can. Your issue isn't that your clothes are too small. Now they're too big for your stronger frame. Your turn. Take a moment and write down a general idea of your vision for a year from now. You don't need it to be perfect, just to start. Write one sentence. Share it in the chat if you know it already and willing to share. Some people have to take time on this and really think about it, and that's okay too. But if you've got it, go ahead and put it into the chat. The next step on our journey is awareness. Once we start, that first week is for figuring out our baseline of where we are. What are we already doing well? What did we think we were doing well that needs improvement? Often this one is protein. Like they think they're getting a lot of protein and it's not nearly enough. Where are we already winning though? This is what step 2 is for. Cronometer is the app that we use in Empowered, and I have a partnership with them where I can offer their $10.99 a month premium membership for only $5.99 a month, or $50 if you want to pay for the year. There will be an opportunity to sign up for that at the end here if you're interested. So we'll use Cronometer to track our weights, measurements, food, and activity for that first week. We need a baseline, a starting point. Get set up on the app you choose. We'll take our starting weight and pictures and measurements. And we're also going to track all food, drinks, and alcohol. Fun fact, alcoholic drinks are not nutritious, so they don't even have to have food labels. But it does have 7 calories per gram. Now, if you think about 28 grams to an ounce, you can do the math another time. But just keep that in mind that alcohol has a lot of calories in it. Anyway, we're going to track our activity. That 10-minute walk to work from the bus, that counts. Everything counts. And Cronometer has everything in it to track all kinds of activity, from sitting to gardening to resistance training, running, everything is in there. Quick reminder to be kind to yourself. You may not like the numbers that we come up with for a baseline, and that is okay. They are also going to go up and down. This is the start of something sustainable that you are going to carry yourself forward with. This is the beginning of showing up for yourself. And let's face it, we are where we are right now. There's nothing we can do to get out of right now until we move forward. So talking down to yourself, it's never helpful. Be kind and speak to yourself like you would speak to a dear friend. We are going to weigh in every Monday and put that into Cronometer. Weight is only gravitational pull though. It doesn't consider water weight, muscle mass, etc. We aren't worried about what the specific number is. We are more concerned with what the trend is over time. You can weigh daily if you are okay with seeing fluctuations. I literally gain 5 pounds from morning to night, and sometimes from one day to the next. I personally only weigh in the mornings, and weekly is the number that you want to record. Be sure your scale is on a solid flat surface, and stand evenly and hold still. Record the number in Cronometer by hitting the big orange plus at the bottom and choose biometric. We don't do before and after pictures here. They're always before and during. This is a sustainable program that will get us out of the loop of losing, feeling good, slipping, and then starting over. Monthly pictures are great for when you feel you're eating and moving well, but the scale isn't budging week over week. You can compare your before and during pics to see if there is a difference. We'll take them in the same place, the same time of day, the same position, and the same or similar clothes and log them in Cronometer under Discover Snapshots so that we can compare apples to apples. The more consistent you are, the better, and I'll show you what I mean. This is me December to April. Look at how my bra is pulling at my left side here in December on the left, and then compare it with April on the right. The scale said I didn't lose much weight at all, but my body recomp was going well. I was losing fat, but also putting on muscle. You can see I wasn't necessarily standing in the same way or angle in each of these, and I'm going to do better with my own consistency going forward. It would be better if I did it always on the new moon or always on the first of the month, same time of day, and this group is going to help me stick to this plan as we do it together. Also, I looked thinnest in March because I was a little further away from the mirror. So try to do these in the same positioning and the same poses. We're going to take monthly measurements. Again, consistent is so important. If we measure flexed, then always measure flexed. If you measure relaxed, then measure relaxed. If you suck it in, always suck it in, etc., etc. Always take your measurements with a tall posture, in the same spot on each area, the same time of day and month, and preferably at the same time we take pictures. Here's my chart. This tracker is in the resources section of Empowered if you want the Excel version. And better yet, Chronometer also has a place for measurements under Add Barometric. I started measuring in inches and then decided that centimeters are more fun. You can see more of the changes that way. You can see here that my changes have been up and down in some cases, and small increments month over month. I converted them back to inches so we can see the difference over 4 months. It didn't look like much month over month, but I lost around 8 inches total around my body. I still do a double take and my brain has to catch up with my results. The scale said I only lost 9 pounds over those 4 months. Again though, I was building dense muscle and working out 3 times a week for an hour each. Let's go into how to measure. You decide how and where to measure on your body. If you need to adjust for yourself, I encourage you to do that. Personally, I measure the biggest part of my left bicep relaxed. I don't measure over the girls as pictured here, I measure the underbust. If you do measure over the breast, just be sure to wear the same bra or no bra. The waist is the thinnest part of my middle for me, and the hips are the largest part of my middle. I measure the widest part of my thigh and the widest part of my calf as well. On to the next stop, tracking. For the first week, we are not needing to change anything. We just need to log and see what we're already doing. You might be surprised. Some people don't eat enough. Some people eat more than they think. All people that I have coached have benefited from this one activity when they do it, and the app makes it really easy. You can scan barcodes on any packages, or you can just take a picture of your food and it'll guess at what's on there. So it's good to measure or weigh the amounts the first few times at the very least. For example, I like to put a bit of peanut butter on a piece of chocolate and eat it that way. I thought I was only getting a tablespoon of peanut butter, and it turned out to be about double. And that's nearly 100 calories difference. I still weigh out my chicken when I meal prep. It's good to weigh and measure when you can, so that you can eyeball it accurately when you can't. That said, best estimates and substitutions are perfectly fine. This doesn't need to be a second job. It needs to be something you can sustainably do. I'll give you an example. This past weekend, I attended a wedding, and they had a beautiful dinner, and the bride had made the cake. I watch what I eat very carefully, but your girl eats cake at weddings, so I knew I was going to go over with this. I'll go down the list here. Salad, sure, it was small on a cup. I had a chicken leg. There were some onions and rice with sauce. I added 2 tablespoons of olive oil to estimate for the chef's sauce. Here's where I got surprised. I had 2 mocktails, which were ginger beer with lavender syrup in them, and they turned out to be 25% of my calories for the entire wedding. So continuing down this list, the bride made the cake, but it wasn't in Chronometer. So I chose the next best thing. I looked up chocolate cake, and obviously her cake wasn't store-bought, but it was close enough for a substitution. I didn't need to go any further and try and figure out what ingredients she put in it, etc. It's close enough. Chronometer also has tracking for movement, and it will estimate the calorie burn on your tracker as well. Just beware of robotic estimates of calories burned. I treat my activity as just a bonus over my calorie goal. I don't include it in my own calculations. Start tracking your steps. Chronometer will also talk to other health tracker apps that you have and record it there. Track your workouts or just your activity by time, type, and how often. Again, you might be surprised. If you want your first week of workouts, by the way, your first 4 weeks, let me know at the end and you'll have an option to get them separately if you choose not to join the program today. Otherwise, your first 4 weeks of workouts, if you're going to use those, are included for those who want them. Remember, we are taking an objective look at that first week. There is no need for shame or being down on yourself. Love yourself where you are. If you notice that you are stress eating all the cookies in the afternoon, then we start planning for those afternoons. If you notice that your hydration is low on those days, well, we already have an answer. Once we've done the tracking, we can become aware of our triggers and pitfalls, and then we can start planning for those. In order to go into planning, we need to discuss the 4 pillars of health: sleep, hydration, nutrition, and physical activity. Each of these has its own detailed module in the Empowered program, but I must touch on them here because they are interdependent. If you don't get good sleep, you might not feel like doing physical activity the next day. If you don't get enough hydration, your body may ask for hydration through hunger. If you don't eat enough, you might not be able to sleep. Each of these are such important pieces to pay attention to in your health practice. As you watch your habits, especially during that first week, keep these 4 pillars in mind. They are likely factors when we find those pitfalls and slips. Chronometer has all kinds of good charts and nutrition reports so that you can see your own patterns. It'll give you charts that show your calories and macros, hydration, sleep, activity, etc. Really great app for seeing your data points and looking at your trends. Then we get to celebrate your wins. Celebrate what you're already doing well, and then check your pillars of health and see where there are more opportunities. A typical day in my former life. It was 12:15 in the afternoon. I was still at my desk and I was hungry. I had a meeting at 1 that needed to finish preparing for. I left in a rush that morning and promised myself that I would stop at the store to grab something for lunch. But who was I kidding? There was no time to hit the store before my meeting. So I chugged some water and then ended up raiding the snacks left out in the break room. And I found a Nutrigrain bar in there, which sounds healthy, but is actually high glycemic and pretty sugary. So up goes my insulin spike, up go my cravings. And as soon as I got home, I was ravenous, and the pantry was the first place I went. And then I grimaced at having to log a messy snack day. If I had prepared better, I would have had some snacks ready and a plan for when I hit these hiccups. These days, I have protein shakes, tuna, and nuts in my drawer and pantry. I also have yogurt available to mix with whey powder, peeled and cut veggie sticks, and almost always cut up chicken breast to grab before I go for the snacks. Now, we have a 90-10 rule that applies here when we're going through transformation. 90% on track, 10% is just fine to do whatever you want. But I like my 10% to be on purpose. That said, there's no shame in having a messy snack day. Just need to keep aligned with your goals and try and keep those down to 10% of the time if you can. And we need to plan for those cookie afternoons. Now that we have a baseline, we start looking at small changes. Why do I stress eat cookies in the afternoon? Well, number 1, I keep cookies at my desk. And I don't get a lot of protein in the mornings. Okay. My advice would be eat a protein first breakfast, like yogurt with whey protein powder and berries. Pack a prepped lunch, and then replace the cookies in the drawer with fruit and or nuts for when you feel snacky. I'd also advise drinking more water during the day. More planning and prep tips. Bedtime. Set an alarm for bedtime. My phone goes off at 10 p.m. each night, and I tend to be in bed by 10:30 and then out by 11. Add movement reminders to your calendar. Schedule them like meetings. You have an appointment with yourself. How about a lunchtime walk with a coworker? How about the gym in the morning? Put that in your calendar. And then keep a gym bag in your car. Mine always has a towel, shoes, clothing, protein shakes or snacks, and an extra water bottle. That way, if I want to go for a walk and I've got heels on, I can just get into my gym bag and grab the correct shoes and go. Be prepared. Have that planned out. All right, last up on our journey is going to be sustainable changes. We get to look back on the data that we've seen and pick out a couple of changes that we can make. This is how I changed my health around. I feel like I already tried all the diets and exercise routines. I needed something sustainable, and small steps is how we get there. Trade that bagel for a protein-rich breakfast. Trade that soda for kombucha or fizzy water with lime. Trade those salty chips for a seaweed snack. And continue to make little trades, pulling each of the levers between sleep, hydration, nutrition, and physical activity. Don't try to change all at once, though. That is a trap. I look so tired in this picture. I feel so much more energy today, and all from little improvements in everyday life. I was working hard all the time and trying to fit in new habits, but I was also slipping very often. Here's how it might look. I eat crap one evening. Okay, I don't eat well one evening, and I don't want to log it. And then the next day, I don't feel like working out because I had all that last night. So subconsciously, I let myself get busy and the day goes by without even a walk, even though my goal is 7,000 steps per day. I'm sure I'll do better tomorrow. I find some sugar and then I raid the pantry due to the blood sugar spike, and I don't want to log that either, but I'm sure tomorrow will be better. So I go to sleep feeling bad about it, deep in my guilt and shame cycle. The following day, I try to make up for the past 2 days. I work out really hard and ended up with muscles so sore I couldn't get up the stairs without vocalizing the song of my people. You know the one. Just crying. Then a couple more days go by and I've slipped enough to need to start over. Yeah, I promised myself I'll start on Monday. The weekend's coming. Back around the cycle I go. Sometimes weeks later, sometimes months later. I'm here to stop that cycle, and so are you. Here's how we do it. We catch ourselves on that first signal that we're drifting. And instead of getting into the same ruts we used to, we steady ourselves, pause, and move forward with dedication to our goals. What about when life throws a huge curveball your way? I did a survey last week and 82 respondents said that they fell off the wagon because of one of these reasons above. Injury, illness, surgery, and chronic pain being the biggest barrier to sticking with their fitness plan. So empowered, we don't say, okay, I have this injury, now I have to stop. We ask, okay, what can we do? We always work on what we can do, even during the heavy times. If I can't work out and I need to heal, I'm going to continue toward my goals by focusing in on the other pillars, sleep, nutrition, and hydration. And I'll do what I can for activity while I heal. If work or family stuff gets in this way, it's the same deal. What can I do right now? Instead of throwing it all away, I need to still take care of myself during these times that I'm taking care of life. We have to continually ask ourselves what we can do. These things above can derail your original plan, but we have to remember that our goals are living and breathing, and we must adjust as we go. Last point. I want to mention that we have to allow wiggle room. You get to have off days. You're going to have off days. You're also going to have parties and weddings and holidays and vacations, and I want you to enjoy them. When we are in transition, it is part of the plan to have 90% on track and then keep that other 10% for freedom. We do 80-20 in maintenance. I don't call them cheats because they're not cheats. If you go over that 10%, that's okay too. Just know that it might slow your results. If you go overboard, just start the next day like nothing happened. Get back on track as quickly as possible. That's our job. To recap, this is how we lose 15 pounds in 90 days. We commit to a period of time that we're going to focus on wellness. You can do anything for 5 weeks. You can do anything for 90 days. We commit to that, and then we set a goal for those times and move toward those goals. And we're going to measure how we're doing that. We're going to start tracking our nutrition, hydration, sleep, and physical activity. We're going to take that data and plan for pitfalls, start doing food prep, etc. And we're going to start making small, sustainable changes, one thing at a time as we go. So I want to pause real quick. What is your biggest takeaway? Please put this into the chat. I'm sure much of today was just reminders for you, but what are you taking away from this this far in the presentation? I love having independent people in my program. They need to be because, again, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm here to offer guidance and community. You can do this alone, but would it be easier with a plan, weekly guidance from somebody who has been through it, nutrition and workout support, and a community to do it with you? Whatever you choose, stick with me here. I have some bonus material for you. It was hard to choose just a few of the comments from current participants. We treasure our privacy in this group. Yes, we are all part of a community and our weekly topic is recorded, but to respect privacy, we don't record people asking their questions on the calls or use their name and stuff like this. But this is a few of the things participants are saying. At our 5-week established first checkpoint meeting, I asked for some wins from current participants. I'm sharing these wins at the 5-week checkpoint because it's also going to be your first checkpoint. So this is where I invite you to join the Empowered program and describe what's in it, what the cost is, and all that. Pictured here was me last year in June, and this is me this past June. Same festival, similar outfit, way different life and outlook. I want to help you get results like mine. What will you do here? You'll join our optional weekly live coaching calls where we check in together and go over a topic relating to our journey. Everything from stress management to finding a workout buddy to form, nutrition guidance, etc. You'll participate in our community where you have 24/7 access to our community where you can post your questions and get feedback from the group. And then I'm also on there every day to answer questions too. You'll work through the curriculum to set yourself up for success. The curriculum consists of 8 bite-sized modules that you can watch anytime. How to take measurements, how to track and chronometer, how to explore goal setting, keep going after a slip, and then the 4 pillars of health: sleep, hydration, nutrition, and physical activity in detail. You will attend the coaching calls as you can on Sundays and Tuesdays. The topics will be added to the resource library, but again, for the sake of privacy, the calls will not be recorded when people are asking their questions or checking in. The resource library will have materials on a variety of topics that you can review, and we're adding more every single month. And we're in this together. We have each other on the community group. And we'll also have a program so you can find that workout buddy like I have with my brother. So our base program is the curriculum, the weekly live coaching calls, the Level Up community, and the resource library. And then we have bonus material as well. Included, you're going to get a personalized one-on-one call with me to get you started. I know I won't always be able to offer this as the program grows, but it's yours today when you enroll. Since injury was the top reason people lost focus on their wellness. I made a guide for this just in case. We also have a guide for when life keeps pulling you off track, and a workout, stretching, and foam rolling basics guide for you as well. But wait, there's more. Cheesy, I know. It's a ShamWow guy up there. I saved the best for last, seriously. I have 3 more bonuses that you can purchase if you want them outside of the program, or they're included when you sign up today. Because this is my pre-release program before I launch it nationally, I'm going to throw in 3 more awesome assets to really kickstart your results. Selfishly, I want your wins and I want your testimonials if you're willing to share them. So let's get into these. Your first 4-week workout, complete with instructions and how-to guides. If you'd like to purchase this separately, it's going for $75. This powerful 90-day PDF journal is a daily, weekly, and monthly guide. It has daily check boxes, weekly themes, affirmations, dedications, and it will keep you on track. This is $29.99 if you want to purchase it outside of the membership, but it is well worth it. Cronometer Gold is amazing, and they sell it for $10.99 a month. I believe so much in the benefits of tracking that I'll add anyone to my coaching program who wants this separate from a membership to bring down the cost. I'll charge $5.99 a month or $50 per year. Full disclosure, they do have a free version, but it's limited and it comes with full page ads. So you have the one-on-one call with me to get you started, the 4 weeks of prescribed workouts if you want them, 6 months of Cronometer, my expert guidance, 24/7 access to the community, my curriculum, my guides, the resource library, the 90-day journal, and the weekly live coaching calls, all for less than lunch for 2 at a restaurant. I'm giving away the house, but it's because I want my participants to have everything they need to lose that extra 15 pounds in 90 days and keep it off. Also, getting this up and running will enable me to empower people for a living, and that's really what I want to do. So here's the deal. The basic program will be $47 per month, which is less than a weekly fast food meal. My 2026 participants are helping me work out the bugs and giving me honest feedback, which will help me make the best possible experience going forward. I brought that down to 33 for you. I have the program established. My clients always get results, even when they do the program imperfectly, which is part of the plan. I just need to make it an online experience that works. So for those who don't mind being here before the polish is complete, it's $33 a month. If they commit to themselves through this program for a year, I offer a 2-month free discount. I'll add the monthly and annual links to the chat here. Here are some thoughts from current participants. Now let's talk more about the cost. One-on-one coaching costs a few $100s to more than $1,000 per month. Personal training here in Oregon, at least, costs $60 to $90 per session. Lunch with a friend at a restaurant is going to typically cost about that much. I created the Empowered program so I could reach the most people and make it affordable for $47 a month, but $33 for you. That's $1.09 per day. We'll continue to build realistic habits around movement, nutrition, sleep, and consistency so that you can go into each new birthday feeling stronger and work toward being in the best shape of your life if you're not already. There are no extremes, no all or nothing diets or plans, just the structure, support, and consistency to stop starting over and to keep that weight off for good. How would your life be if you had more confidence in your body and loving how your clothes fit? You're able to walk up that hill without being winded. No guilt when allowing yourself treat meals and treat days. Connected with a community of people who help keep you on track and make it fun to keep coming back instead of fading out. That's what you get here. You may have doubts about joining a program like this. This program is designed for busy people, particularly high-performing women with hectic schedules, big family commitments, and lots of responsibility. That's the point. We have to do something. We have to fit our own wellness into the life we have in order to continue to be awesome for everyone else. Empowered is different because I don't give you a program for you to stuff your life into. I give you the tools that you need to build in your wellness with what you already have going on, and with grace. I get not wanting a recurring expense. You can cancel anytime. Just know there are no contracts. Just let me know a few days before your next billing cycle and I won't charge you further. Or if you sign up for the annual plan, you get 2 months off by paying for the year. You also might consider a trade-off to afford this. 3 or 4 Starbucks coffees or 3 or 4 fast food sandwiches. If you meal prep for those instead, you have a way to justify this program, which will help you feel your best. Every time I commit to a new program, I end up quitting after a few weeks. That was me too. Also, that's okay. You can cancel anytime. But really, give me 90 days. 12 weeks is a magical number in fitness, and most people keep going after that to continue to build their wellness practice. Give me 5 weeks, and after 5 weeks, continue on to that 90 days and see how you feel. We have a brand new accountability buddy program that I'm just about to introduce to the community here, and the coaching calls will keep you motivated and going. But the choice is yours. Try it for 5 weeks, try it for a year. Do something different this time that will help you get results. Again, this is all up to you. Final recap here so we can get to our Q&A. We have the one-on-one calls with me to get you started, the 4 weeks of prescribed workouts if you want them, 6 months of Chronometer, my expert guidance, daily in the community if you like, my curriculum, my guides, the resource library, the 90-day journal, and the weekly live coaching calls, all for less than that weekly Starbucks. The link in the chat is here. Now, what kind of questions, thoughts, emotional outbursts do you have?